Good morning, everybody. Today is hip day, right? It's like that commercial. It's hump day. No, it's hip day. You're going to need a strap with a loop, not too big. You'll figure out how big you need it. When we're ready for it, it's going to swish up or underneath your ankles. For many of us, you've done this with me before. But we're going to just take it up a notch to work with not only stretching through the legs and the hips, but strengthening those same legs and hips. So keep your strap nearby and come on down to your backs. All right. And keep your legs, your knees bent, keep your feet on the floor. And feel your shoulders draw down toward the mat. Don't overdo it, but just feel that. And feel a nice neutral pelvis. So what does that mean? I'm not overarching. I'm not rounding. I've got a little bit of a space between the lower back and the mat. And then place your hands on your hip, the front hip bones, and just kind of get a sense if those hip bones feel even from an up-down standpoint, from a left-right standpoint. Just see if you can get a sense of that. And then you can let the hands come down along your sides. You've got a nice neutral spine. Nice neutral back of the neck, not too high, not too low. And tap into your breath. Good. Inhaling, taking it up. Or the breath up. Exhaling, letting it go. Good. And a couple more here. Breathe, everybody. Good. And if you were with me last class, we played with a little bit of an inhalation breath. And by taking our hand and making a small circle like a straw out of that hand. So just take one of your hands and curl the fingers so that you have a small space in between those fingers down through the palm of the hand, like you're making a nice big straw. And then put that straw, that hand to your mouth and inhale, big deep breath. And exhale and let it go. Good. Inhale. I'm just going to close the window. It sounds like we got some yard work going on out there. Inhale, big deep breath through that imaginary straw. And exhaling, just normally letting it go. So as we talked on Sunday, right, developing these lungs by being able to inhale deeply and exhaling, letting it go. Good. And if this is super easy for you, it's a little harder for more people in the laying down position than it is sitting up. But if it's super easy, make that hole, that straw, smaller. So you're trying to imagine that you're drinking a thick drink through a straw. So you've got to work on it a little bit. Inhaling, deep breath. And exhale. The exhale is just a natural exhale. Good. Two more. And exhale. Good. Last one. Inhale. Almost forgot my straw. And exhale, let it go. Good, and remove your hand if it's still there. And just a few pelvic tilts and tucks. So you're leaving your hips, you're leaving your sacrum on the floor. You're tilting your pelvis forward, creating a bigger arch in the low back. And then you're tucking those hips down and flattening your back to the floor. Good. Couple more here. And breathe. Your head, neck, shoulders are neutral. Good. And then neutral spine, space behind your back. I want you to lift your right heel off the floor, just your right heel. And notice if those front hip points stay neutral. Lower the right heel, lift the left. You can even put your hands on those front hip bones and just see if they stay pretty neutral, lifting one heel and then the other. So you're not rocking side to side, the hips are staying level. Good. And then lift your right heel, lift the right leg so the knee is bent. See if the hips stay level. And lower down, lift the left heel, lift the left leg, keep the hips level. It really helps if those hands are there giving you some feedback. Good. And then start a slow march, no momentum, right? Pause at the top. The hands are giving you feedback. And just see if you can lift one leg and then the other leg, one foot really, and then the other foot. And keep the hips pretty level. If you go too fast, you'll start rocking side to side, and that's going to skew your information. So just play here for a moment. And then both feet on the floor. Keep your left foot on the floor. Draw your right knee as close to your chest as you can, and then straighten the leg up to the ceiling. Don't use your hands unless your hamstrings are so tight that you need a strap or your hands. And if you do, that's okay. But see if you can do this unassisted, right? So active movement or motion of the muscles. Point the toes and flex, upper body neutral. Point and flex. Good. One more big stretch. And then a flex of the foot. The left knee is going to float out to the left. The right leg is going to float out to the right. Couple choices here. Now I'm warmed up. I've been down here for a little while. So if you need a right hand underneath or on the outside of your right thigh for support, please do that. I want you to have good control of these legs and then check the hips and see if they feel even, right? Or did you hike that right leg way up or the left hip way up? Breathe, imagine, right? This is a whole bunch of work, I know. And then inhale, both legs up, crisscross your thighs so that the left knee is heading toward the right and the right leg is heading toward the left. Keep the legs straight. Yep, keep your right leg straight. Breathe. Good, one more time, slow. I want you to open both. Level out the hips. Soon as I take that right leg out, that right hip tends to hike up on me, so I just lowered it down again. And squeeze them up and cross. Breathe, you're gonna stay right here. Good, take the right leg up, bend that knee, release. And we're gonna switch sides. The right foot stays on the floor, the left leg goes up. Now you might notice one side easier than the other. My left hamstring is more open, so this is way easier for me. The hips are level, and I'm gonna take the left leg out to the left, the right knee out to the right. The belly is toned, a little kind of knitting in of the belly muscles from the sides to the center. The foot is flexed, the hips are even. And squeeze them together, crisscross those thighs. Keep the left leg straight as you can. Ooh, yeah, feel that, everybody? Yeah, I know you do. Good, open them up slow, right? So What we want to resist is momentum. Like I'm just not flying those legs all over the place. Low belly knits in towards center. Breathe. And squeeze them together. Cross. That's it. Good. Take it back up to the ceiling. Lower that leg. Listen up. I want you to take the right leg back up again. I want you to cross thighs just where we were before. Now, if this is pretty intense already, right? It's an outer hip stretch, but you might feel that all the way down by the foot. If that's real intense, stay right here, or otherwise keep the left knee heading right, but lift the left foot off the floor. So you just got, it just went deeper, right? So that stretch just got a little more intense. Breathe, upper body neutral. Lower the left foot, take the left leg or the right leg out and squeeze them together, switch sides. You're going to cross thighs. 1, you're here. 2, you lift the right foot off the floor. So you're bringing that left leg closer to you, which I don't know. That's a pretty woohoo, sweet stretch. And lower the foot, open both legs. Bring that left foot back together. Take both legs up, both hands to the outer thighs. Push those hands into the legs as you press the legs out. So my outer legs are pushing hard into my hands. My hands are resisting. For me, my elbows are on the floor, so I got a little extra leverage to resist. So if that works for you, that's great. And then keep the legs pushing into the hands, but push the legs together. Good. Open them up against resistance. Exhale, squeeze them together, but try to resist. Inner, outer thigh work. One more. Push them out. Push, push, push. And push them in. Push hard. And release knees to chest. Good job, everybody. Woo. And then your right foot to the floor. Your left leg goes up. Straighten the right leg optional. Smooth out that right thigh. Press it down to the floor. Reach the left heel up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath. Lift the right leg if you can and if you would like. Now, options here. You can bend the left knee. Sometimes that's easier. You just have to watch about over rounding or overarching in the low back. Take a deep breath. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, left leg lowers a few inches off the floor. Find your breath, everybody. Woo! Breathe. Inhale, the left leg up. Open both legs wide. Exhale, squeeze them together. Lower the right leg a couple of inches off the floor. Press down through your sacrum. The lower back can have a little bit of space if that's possible. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale the left leg down. Core work. Core work. We got this. Inhale it up. Take the legs wide. Pause. Squeeze them together. Bend the knees. Take them in toward chest. Whew. I know it. Feel that, everybody. All right, so straighten your left leg to the floor. Bring your right knee to your chest, but try to angle it over toward the left shoulder. So instead of bringing it to the right armpit or right shoulder, bring it across the body. It's not going to go very far. Take the left hand to the outside of your right knee. And then isometrically push your right knee back into your hand. This is going to come into play later. Big deep breath. Just resist. You're trying to pull that knee back over to the right. Good. Release it. Straighten the right leg. Bring the left knee in and then bring it across. So that left knee is heading toward the right shoulder, a little more stretch for that outer hip glute. And then the right hand goes outside the left knee and you try to push it back into the hand. A little bit, I love isometric work. If you do yoga with me, you know this. And release, straighten both legs. Good. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release, and then grab your strap. So you have a loop in your strap. You're going to fish your legs through the strap just until it gets, I don't know, 3 inches or so above your ankles. The rest of the strap you don't need. You can just kind of throw it off to the side and then straighten the legs back down to the floor. I love these exercises. I should be doing them more often. You could be doing them more often. All right, so feet are flexed. I want you to press the ankles or those legs against the strap. So you're trying to pull your legs apart. You should feel the leg hip muscles fire up pretty darn quickly. If this is challenging, go to your happy place, right? Maybe you sing a little cute song, or you think of something besides this. Hang in there. I was going to get my phone so I could time this, but I forgot. Breathe. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Yes. And release. Good. Turn over to one side. Push in your head. Your legs are stacked one on top of the other. And you're going to lift your top leg. This is so easy and so challenging, right? So the belly tones, the hips are stacked. You're not leaning forward or back. Ooh, everybody feeling this? Yes, yes. Breathe, press the bottom leg down. You got it. Good, release, turn onto your belly. This is one of those, everybody. You could do this every day and you'll strengthen all those muscles around your hips. All right, so your right foot pushes down, your left leg tries to push up. If your strap is too wide, first of all, it'll be much harder to get a purchase on it to get that isometric work. And in this particular one, if your strap is too wide, your loop is too big, you're going to go right to your low back. So adjust if need be. You are working that big back glute medius or glute maximus muscle. Woo! And lower that leg, push the left foot into the floor, lift the right. If I can do it, you can do it. Breathe. I know. Find your pose. Strong glutes, right? Strong legs. Breathe, better balance, better poses. And lower that side, turn onto your other side. Your toes are all pointing toward the wall in front of you. Lift the top leg, but press down through the bottom leg. You got this. Breathe. Almost there. Remember your happy place. This morning I was singing Dancing in the Moonlight, everybody. You remember that song? I found a really cute version. I'll have to send it to you. Whew. Good. Lower, turn back onto your backs. We're almost there. I want you to push your right heel down, lift your left leg. So as work. Now, if you're starting to get pain in that hip joint, just lower down, chill out for a moment. We are almost done, I promise. Lower that leg, lift the other leg, push down through it. Breathe. Lower, push both legs apart. And relax, bend both knees, leave your strap, take those legs up toward the ceiling as if the soles of your feet could touch the floor or touch the ceiling, and push both legs apart. Breathe. Right? When we sit too much, when we do any one thing too much, we can really create an imbalance. Now, your legs are up. See if you can create a little bit of space behind your low back, just a little. Don't arch, like don't overarch, but don't flatten. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees, everybody. Take that strap out of there. And then roll onto one side and come on up. I know, right? Woo-hoo! Feel those hips. Now, you may want your blanket nearby from a cushioning standpoint. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So just have it where you can get to it. And maybe sit, you can sit either way. You can sit sideways. Actually, it might be better if you sit sideways if you can follow. So sit long ways on your mat. Take the knees out wide, and if you can, take the feet as if you were gonna flatten them. I don't know, flatten them against a wall, huh? Yeah, it's really tricky, I know, and I'm like, how do you even cue this? Like, how do you describe this funky thing? Take your hands behind you and press the outer edges of your feet into the floor. So your pinky side edges into the floor. Do you feel that? Anybody feel that besides me? Working with the inner thighs. Woo, breathe. Good. Release that push and just windshield wiper the back leg in. Okay. And then take it up, push into the pinky sides and just move the back leg. So internal, external rotation. We've done this a zillion times. We're going to change it up a little. Take it back. Outer edges pressed. Go to that side. So internal, external rotation. One more. Open. Push. And drop that knee. Good. All right. So we're going to go back to the first side. Drop that knee. Here's where you might want your blanket. Please don't let your knee rest on anything hard. So I wouldn't make that blanket high, but your knees are either on your mat or they're on a blanket. And just kind of get a sense of what's happening right here with this pose. We do this fairly often. It's a lot of teachers call this 5-pointed star, or certainly when you come forward. But here's what I want you to do different. This back knee, push it into the floor. You should feel right here engaged. If you're not sure, put your hand there, right? If I release, nothing happening. If I push, something happening. It's almost as if we could take this back hip and push it forward, but it's really down here at the knee. Breathe. If you want a little more, you can imagine lifting this back foot off the floor, but push the knee down. Again, there should be no pain. Honor your process. We got a lot of hip stuff out there. Breathe. Release that push. Turn to your front leg. Don't come down. Just push your front knee into your mat. You should feel the other muscles working, right? Holy moly. Don't push the back one at the same time. Focus on the front one. Breathe. And release. Turn. Flex the feet. Push the pinky edges down. I'm already feeling my inner thighs, right? And go to the other side. So bring that knee down. You're going to work with the back knee first. Flex your foot, push that knee to the floor. Just don't let it be on the hard floor. Breathe. It's tricky, right? It's like, how do we get that knee down? And actually, for me, the blanket throws it a little bit. If I don't have the blanket and I'm on mat, it feels okay. And I get a little bit more sensation of this part of that hip glute working. Yep. You feel it, sis? Yeah, it's like, oh, look at that. What is that muscle, right? We always think of the big glute max muscle, but what's going on down here? All right, release that tension, push. You can take the hands forward, push on the front knee. Isometric work. Breathe. And release. Come on back to center. Find Dandasana. Squeeze the legs together. Let's release some of that internal, external rotation. And breathe. Now, choices. 1, hands lean back a little. 2, no hands. You can put them here. You can do peace signs. It's okay with me. I want you to lift a leg, hands or no hands. You can even just do like kind of a little soft fist. Bend the knee, step over, lift up really tall. Wrap both arms around your knee and pause. So think of the lumbar spine as getting really long. And I want you, with your arms wrapped around your knee, I want you to push that knee back out. Isometrically again. So if I were to let go, my knee would drop. What I'm doing is just pushing against it, right? One or both hands. And breathe. You can lift the foot, push, a little more work. We're working with these muscles, isometric work. Breathe. It's just like we did on the floor. Do you remember when we took the knee to opposite shoulder and held it and pushed again? We're doing the same thing, only seated. Breathe. Lower the foot. Take the opposite, whichever leg is straight, take that same side arm, wrap around. I want you to lift up through the lumbar spine. Take the ribs to the side and let your hand come behind. Open up both shoulders. Flex your long leg foot. Breathe. If you want a little bit more work, push the knee against the arm and the arm back against the knee. Breathe. And release. No hands. Lift, straighten, push, and let go. Shake it out. All right, here we go. Other side. Hands, no hands. Lift that leg. Woo. Quads, hip flexors, whatever, right? They hurt. Breathe, bend the knee. Step over like you're stepping over a big object. Push your foot into the floor and lift your chest. And then wrap those arms around your knee. Sit super tall. And then isometrically push that knee back into your arms. The bottom leg is still active, everybody. Breathe. We're lifting nice and tall out of the lumbar spine. Breathe. If you want a little more, take that foot off the floor. Going to work that muscle, work those glutes a little bit more. Press the knee into the arms, resist, not letting that knee move. Breathe. Good. Lower that leg, lift up tall, that straight leg side, wrap that arm around. Start to move the ribs, the chest into a twist, and then press the knee against the arm again. You got it. And release it. Come back to center. No hands. Lift. Press out. Lower down. Bend both knees. We're getting there. I know. A lot of floor time today. Flex your feet. Dig in your heels. Lift up through your spine. Take the feet off the floor. Hands stay behind the thighs. I want you to push your legs into your hands and resist. You know it. Don't you know it? Woo, breathe. Like I'm really trying to straighten my legs. So what are we doing here? One, I'm working the legs, the hips, the hip flexors, but I'm working the arms too. right? Because I have to resist. It's like doing a static bicep curl. Good. Release the push. Take the arms out if you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten and lower. Get tall. Breathe. Bring them down. Boat pose. Legs are together, feet are together or separate, whatever feels right. If you're super duper at boat and you want to straighten the legs, go ahead. But if you're already shaky, don't straighten the legs. Go, Betty, go. Breathe, straighten the legs. Lower, lift tall. One more. Here we go. Woo. Breathe. Find your pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten, lower, let go. And then just kind of take the palms of your hands and work those legs. Whew. You know you're alive. All right, come on up. Table pose, everybody. You'll need your blocks near the front of your mat. Few cats and cows just to stretch it out. Good, couple more. Last one. You can come to elbows too, by the way, if your wrists are bothering you or you're recovering from any kind of a hand thing, right? Press the right leg back. Lift the right leg. Tone the belly in and imagine you're knitting that belly towards center. It's almost like a little corset. Good. I want you to turn the toes out to the side. Keep the leg active and keep the glute active. Turn the toes down and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide that leg out and over the table. Hold if you can. Lower that foot to the floor. We're staying low, so not gate pose. Your left hand stays down. Your right arm goes up. Whichever leg is extended, same side. Big deep breath. Imagine spinning the ribs, knitting the belly. Exhale, release. Hands come down. See if you can lift the leg and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide it, toes down, lower that leg. Sit back for a moment. Find your breath. Smile. And even if this is hard, like even if you're going, what the heck? Smile because you're here, you're doing it, you're doing your best. You go, right? Don't ever go, just go, yay, I'm doing this. All right, other side. There we go. I have to turn around so I have a room. Tone in through the belly. Press your left leg back. Squeeze in and knit that belly in. So from the side muscles to the middle. Lift the leg. And then turn the toes out and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Keep those toes out. Slide that leg across. See if you can hold it for a second and then lower that leg to the floor. Right knee is down, right hand is down, left arm reaches up. That should just feel so good. And breathe. I love this twist. It's a really sweet one. Exhale, hand comes down. You're going to see if you can lift that leg and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide it across that table and lower the knee to the floor. Come right to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet once you're there. Yep, stretch out the feet. So when you're pedaling, just move through the full range of motion of those feet. Like I come all the way up on the toes, stretching it all out. Maybe add the hips, right? Shaking it a little bit, side to side. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, lower your knees. Kickstand out your right foot. Take the left leg out and come over to your side. So a little quarter moon pose. Make sure your right hand is supporting you. So right hand or right wrist, pretty much under shoulder. Now, your toes are pointing straight forward. In fact, take the toes down just a hair. Toes down toward the floor, just a little bit. And then squeeze the heck out of that top hip, top glute. Breathe. Can you give me a little pulse? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the top arm up, optional. Take the top arm over your ear, optional. Release the hand. Turn yourself around, both knees back on the floor. Reposition your hands for downward facing dog. Breathe. Engage the upper shoulders. Find your breath. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, lower the knees. Excuse me. Kickstand out your left foot. Realign the left leg or left arm. Come to your side position. Flex your foot. Turn the toes down just a hair. Tone in through the belly. We can overarch here, especially those of us who have a lot of movement. Breathe. And then pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release. Hand to the floor. Straighten that knee. Lower the other knee. Come back to downward facing dog. Take the feet wide on your mat. Bend the knees and lengthen through the upper back. Keep that bend in your knees. Walk your hands back until your heels touch the floor. Take your elbows to your knee and take your torso halfway up. So we're just kind of thinking about things, right? We're getting some equilibrium back in our heads, our brains, our bodies. And then hands to knees and press up. Whew. Good job, everybody. Shake it out. Grab your strap. So, goodness gracious. With your strap, I want you to take it a little bit bigger, and then step through. That strap's going to go above your knees, probably by a couple of inches, and you're going to take the feet, not super wide, but wide. You'll figure it out again, because if the strap's in a bad place or your feet are too wide or too narrow, it's not going to feel good. So one of the challenges we have when we're doing any kind of squats is that the knees will roll in, okay? So we're going to work with knees out. The strap's giving us feedback. So find your purchase, bend your knees a little bit until you feel that strap pressing against the thighs. And then come into the squat that makes sense for you, pressing against. Now, I had to adjust the legs a little bit, my feet a little bit. I was turned out and I needed to turn in for me. I'm sitting back and I'm pressing. Now, you can just take your hands to your legs. Let's make this easy to start. Knit the belly and hold. Who's not feeling this? It's funny, we keep getting clouds covering the sun and it's like it's dark in here and then it gets light. Breathe. Anybody feeling this? Okay, just want to make sure it wasn't just me. Come on, everyone, right here, right? Woo! 5, 4, push against your strap. 3, 2, 1, stand up. Let that strap come down to your ankles and find purchase. Now, if any of this hurts, right? If your skin is tender to bruising or anything like that, just don't push so hard, okay? All right, inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the tension against the strap. Big deep breath. I need to move mine. So mine were a little too close to the ankle bones. It didn't really feel good. So I just scooted it up a little. Breathe. I want you to imagine that the sit bones are getting wider. The feet are parallel to each other. Bend the knees like you're going to sit in a chair. Push the knees away from each other. Take your hands to your knees or your forearms to your knees. So once again, here we are. Breathe, start to lift up through your chest. Come up to a squat-ish. Knees press out. Belly knits in, hands to heart. Lift the chest a little more, Linda. Yes. Breathe and then stand up. Woo, good. Shake it out. Take that strap out. Set it aside. Roll the shoulders. Your blocks are at the front of your mat. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can land on your blocks. Shake out the hips a little bit. Breathe. Inhale, halfway up, halfway up. Halfway up usually means your shoulders kind of line up with those hips, right? The belly knits in, the lower back gets long. Exhale it down. Bend both knees and step back with your right leg. Lower your right knee to the floor. Undo your toes. Check your front knee alignment. Take your hands to your knee. Press away a little bit. And then take the arms up. And breathe. Find your pose. Nice low lunge. Nice stretch right here. Tiny tuck of that hip. And breathe. Good. That's it. Now try to push your front foot away from you. Release those hands to the floor. Listen up. I'm just going to move my blocks out of the way so you can see hopefully what I'm talking about. Walk your left foot out one little step and then turn your toes to the edge of your mat. So you're still in alignment, right? Your knee and your ankle, but your foot is angled and your leg is angled to the side. You still have both blocks if you want them. Now, the tendency is to go whoop and just drop. And trust me, it feels good. But instead, I want you to pull in here, even if your torso is forward. Pull in through the front line of this hip. So you're not just dropping, you're engaging. Keep the torso tall. Flip your toes under, lift the knee. Keep that other leg where it is. Find your breath. I want you to imagine this back thigh pushing it up to the ceiling. Good. I'm going to lower my right hand block. Take my left arm up. We did this as a variation of gate pose. Twist. And lower. Walk your left foot back into a regular alignment lunge. You can set your blocks aside, down dog. Stretch it all out, everybody. Know that child's pose is an option. Good. When you're ready, step the right foot forward. Lower your knee. Oh. I love a good stretch just like everybody else. But I want mobility and stability more than I want a big opening, right? So, hands to knee, back off a little, tuck in a little, and then take the arms up. Feel as if your belly could just kind of knit into the center, not like a tight knot, but like the muscles kind of interlacing right at the center of the belly button. Breathe. Exhale, hands down. Grab your blocks, walk your right foot so that the toes go to the diagonally toward the edge of your mat. Hold here, squeeze your back glute. Kind of tuck in through the front of your left thigh. Push out of your blocks. Knit the belly. Flip your toes under, lift the knee. Oh, yeah, that feels so good. Engage. Block under your left hand, no block. Take the right arm up. And breathe. Exhale, hands down. Walk your right foot in, down dog. We're almost there. Take your feet to the edges of your yoga mat. Find a good down dog otherwise. Maybe lift the heels a little and bend the knees a little. Bend the knees a whole bunch. And then walk your hands back until your heels land. Take your elbows to your knees, come halfway up. Breathe. Just get your equilibrium. I'm looking down on the mat. I'm looking down and forward just a little bit. Now, 1, you're here. 2, you're going to see if you can lift your heels off the floor. Elbows are pressing into your legs are pressing up into your elbows. Find your focus point. This is balance. Lower the heels, hands to knees, press up. Woo. Shake it out. Shake it out, everybody. Woo. Got it, Betty? Deep breath. Deep breath. All right, feet are slightly wider now. This is just plain old squats. We'll add to them. So here's the key. Whether my legs are here or here or here, I'm trying not to do this. I'm exaggerating, but you know who you are. I can picture you right now. So if you squat and you do this, I want you to either pretend that rope is out on the thighs again, or I want you to change position either of feet or legs. Okay? All right, inhale, reach up. Hands go to heart. Come on down. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, squat. Check your knees. Press into your feet. Inhale. Exhale. Now, some of you have the mobility in the knees to take the elbows to the knees. And up, squeeze. And down. Squeeze it up. That was only 4, I think. So we're going to 10. Down. Squeeze up. Down. Check the knees. And 7. And 8. Are you smiling? And 9. 10. See if you can hold. Elbows are touching knees optionally, but I'm not leaning. I can lift them anytime. Breathe. Tone the belly. Knit that belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Ooh, feel this. I know. Shake it out. Find your equilibrium again. You're just going to take your right foot back a little, just a little. This is actually going to be a stretch. So bend your front knee and then imagine getting long right here. Some of you can go to back, no, don't even do that. It feels terrible. I was going to say, sometimes you can flatten that foot, but I'm looking for a stretch here. So I'm going to tuck in through the pelvis, and then I'm going to just stretch back, lean back. If your hip flexors or quads are tight, you'll feel this stretch. Breathe. Good. Release. Switch sides. I guess both knees bend a little bit. I don't really think of the back knee bending, but it does. So bend, press back, lean back a little. You feel that stretch? That's it. And release. Come on back, front of your mat. We're going to put all those babies together, which is what we've been doing lately. So if you need a break, take a break. Don't worry, be happy. All right, you're at the front of your mat, mountain pose. Feel that mountain pose. I always kind of imagine the back of my head, back of my sacrum touching the wall, shoulders are back. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, float down. Hands can come to blocks or the floor. Take both hands to your shins. Lift halfway up. Breathe. Good. Exhale, hands down. Bend your knees. Find your breath. Step back, right leg. Lower that knee to the floor. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, hands down inside. Heel toe that left leg out. Angle the toes out. Lift the leg. Lift the right knee. And breathe. Right hand stays down. Left arm reaches up. Exhale, hand down. Good. From here, you should be able to just pick up that left leg, step back, down dog, and then adjust the hands. Lower the knees down. Kickstand the right heel out. Adjust the right hand. Take the left arm straight out. And breathe. Fire up the glute. Take the top arm over the ear if you would like. Lower that hand to the floor. Down dog. Find your breath. Step forward with your right foot. You got this. Lower your knee. Inhale, take the toe or take the arms up. Take the toes up. That's interesting. Breathe. Good stretch, everybody. A little tuck of the pelvis. Exhale, hands down. Step your right hand in, walk the right foot out, turn the toes out, lift the left knee. Engage the low belly. Take the right arm up. That's it. Breathe, everyone. Ooh. Exhale, hands down. Step back to down dog. Yep. Breathe. Lower the knees to the floor. Kickstand the left leg out. Adjust the left arm so that the wrist is under your shoulder. Take that right leg up. Take the right arm up. Breathe. Good. Take the hand down. Just lower the knee and sit back, child's pose. Find your breath. Just notice how you feel, everybody. It's an interesting thing, right? As we work through different muscles, some of the movement is more oxygen demanding than others, especially when we're working with the bigger muscles, glutes, thighs, right? Quads. So it can take a little bit more out of you, but it can make you strong. All right, so come on up and you're gonna lay on your, I'm not gonna mirror here just so I don't mess it all up. So I'm on my right hip and my legs are just kind of staggered, but not like windshield wipers. They're just a little bit staggered. And the right hand is on the floor and it's very supportive of not letting us just sink down into the floor. So it's got me lifted up a little bit. Make sure both of your knees are on the floor, tone the belly, and then push up so that those hips come off the floor. Yep, take the top arm up. And you're gonna lower down, lower that hip down, and then push it back up again. Lower down. If this hurts the knees, just quit doing it. Lift, one more, and down. Good, last one, lift and hold. If you want, straighten the top leg. You're kind of, sort of in the pose we were before, just different. And lower down. And switch sides. So when we lift, right, we're pulling that underside away from the floor. Make sure your left hand is, so always when we're kind of lifting from these positions, like if we did that quarter moon, I always start with my hand a little further forward than the shoulder, because what happens when I lift, that shoulder will go forward. So make sure you're not straining the shoulder here. Both knees are on your mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale it down. Control. Inhale, push up and down. Two more. Inhale up and down. Good. One more lift and down. This next one, we extend out if we can. Lift up, hold here, or take that back leg and lift it straight. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Woo! I know, we're almost done, everybody. You're like, thank God. Lay on your right side, come to your elbow. Pull up through the underside. Now, you may want to diagonal that forearm just a little bit, not a bunch. You'll find the area that feels right for you, elbow to shoulder. Press through the pinky side. I tend to do a soft fist here, but I've seen other people that will do a flat palm, if that works better for you. Push the bottom ribs away. Press up through the hips and breathe. Take the top arm up. Optionally, straighten the front leg or the top leg. Breathe and lower down. Turn yourself around, doing a little break dancing. Come to elbow. Forearms slightly diagonal. Pull the underside ribs up. Lift up through the hip, optional. Straighten the top leg, optional. Pull those bottom ribs away from the floor, everybody. That's the work. And lower down. One more. Turn yourself around. If you've had enough, come onto your backs and take a break. Listen up. You're going to come down to elbows. One, you're going to stay here, do the same thing we did here, here to here, or you're going to straighten both legs and flex both feet. Pull up those bottom ribs, pull, pull, pull. Take your top hand and put it on the floor in front of you. Push the hips up, pull the ribs up, side plank. Breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, squeeze, 1. Hand to the floor, slowly lower down. Last one, I promise. Turn it around. Here's the other thing about the turn around, turn around, turn around. I want you to be comfortable moving around. I'm on the floor all the time, moving around, okay? So be comfortable with changing the position of your body and allowing it to do what it does so well. All right, elbow down. Remember, you can stay with the knees bent and lift that way or straighten both legs. Flex the feet, stack the hips. Front hand gives you that little hand up. So push up and then maybe let go of the hand. Maybe take the arm up, maybe not. Squeeze those ribs away from the floor, everybody. Woo! And lower. I know. Feet to the front of your mat. Just breathe. While we're still upright, and Betty, you can stay where you are, it's okay. I want you to take the elbows to the outside knees. You don't have to hold hands, you can just go here. And then push the legs out into the arms. Got warm in here. Release, take the elbows inside, push. Resist, don't let the shoulders get all scrunchy. Resist. And then let go, come on down. Have both of your blocks where you can get to them. Come on down to your backs. How time flies when you're having fun. Take your left foot down to the floor. So left foot is on the floor. Your right knee comes to your chest. Take the right arm inside the right leg and then reach ideally for the outside of your foot or for your big toe. So we're doing a half happy baby. Left foot is on the floor. Try to level out the hips. Have a tiny space behind the lower back, a little bit harder with this one. If this feels fine, straighten your left leg. It's a big stretch. After all the hip and glute work we did, this is a big old stretch, 1 for the left psoas and 2 for the right hip. Breathe. If this is really hard, so the sole of your foot is as if you were going to step on the ceiling. It should be relatively flat. If this is really not fun, you can grab your shin, your ankle. You can even wrap your elbow outside your knee and then to the inside, right? So all of those work. Breathe. And then very mindfully, with that left leg extended, I want you to just start to draw your right thigh toward the floor on the right side. So you're just going to lean over to the right. My left thigh, left glute is off the floor. It's a different stretch. I learned this one at a workshop a while ago. Breathe. And come to center. Release knee to chest and just straighten the leg all the way down. Straighten both legs. Good. Bend both knees, both feet to the floor. Your right leg stays in. The left knee comes to your chest. Left arm inside, grabs the outside of your foot, grabs your big toe, grabs your ankle. And then we straighten the shin. So the shin is more parallel with the wall. right? The knee heading down toward the armpit, the sole of the foot flexed. If this feels okay, stay right here. If you want a little deeper stretch and your body is willing, straighten the right leg. Breathe. Just feel that. Try to relax the jaw, the belly, right? Because we can tend to tense up here. And then allow that left thigh to lean over to the left. Just ran into wall. Maybe the thigh comes to the floor, maybe it doesn't. Doesn't matter. And center. Bring that knee to chest. Straighten both legs. Oof, I know it. Bend both knees. Happy baby, full happy baby. Now, here's the challenge. If happy baby, if it's all you can do, right? Both legs go up, the knees are bent. Maybe all you do is take elbows, outside knees, hold the hands in the middle and do happy baby like that. I like this version a lot. Or you grab your shins, or you grab the big toes or the outsides of the feet. So start there. And then for those of you who this is an accessible pose, because it isn't for everybody, I want you to tilt your sacrum back down to the floor, okay? So it's going to create a small space in your lower back. That is a little tougher. It's tougher for me. It aligns that spine. Breathe. Try to let the knees be heavy. Big deep breath. Notice if you're overlifting your chin. If you are, try to draw the chin back down to neutral. And release both knees to your chest. Woo! Both legs straight. We are on the finish line, everybody. Options here. I think we're Shavasana time. Oh boy, are we ever. If you would like an optional Shavasana, it would be Baddha Konasana, using your blocks. We've done a lot of hip and inner thigh work. You take the legs to Baddha Konasana, you use your blocks to support your legs or hips. So the legs should be leaning onto the blocks, whether they're low, whether they're high. This will help you relax those inner thighs and hips as opposed to work them. So please use your blocks. Even if your knees are close to the floor, use your blocks, because I want this to be a Shavasana-like pose. And then lengthen through your whole spine. Take a really deep breath and let that go. Let the arms come down to your sides or rest on your belly. And let the legs be heavy either on the floor or on your blocks in Shavasana or in Baddha Konasana. Soft belly, soft hips. Close the eyes if they're open. Soften the body down. Breathe. Soften. Sink down even more. If you would like to stay here forever, stay in Shavasana, everyone. If you're ready, come on out. Start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. If you happen to be in Baddha Konasana, then draw the knees together. And then bring those knees to chest. Rock to your side until you feel those knees go to one side or the other. And then come on up. Find your seat. I don't think we hardly sat once, did we? Bring the hands to your heart, everybody. And bow to your inner wisdom, your inner strength, your inner willingness to show up and be your best. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Have a great day.